Hey, you guys, it's wonderful to see all y'all today. So today, you guessed it, we're talking about Ignite Me. So I usually wouldn't say this. I don't know how I let this happen. I finished that book in less than 24 hours because I could not put it down, and when I had to go do school, I was listening to an audiobook on YouTube while I was doing school. Oh, by the way, guys, there are going to be spoilers in this video. I'm going to spoil it. So if you haven't read Ignite Me yet, I'm going to make another video where I talk about Ignite Me, but I don't spoil anything for y'all. Just in case you're watching it to decide if you should or shouldn't read it. But yeah, honestly, it's totally worth it. 100%, guys. And I'm gonna sound psychotic for saying this, and y'all are gonna come after me, but I promise I have a valid explanation. So, the scene where Aaron goes to see his mom, and then his mom dies, and Juliet finds him sobbing on the floor and comforts him. That was probably one of my favorite scenes of the book, and I think it's probably become one of my comfort scenes, and when I'm feeling down, I probably will go back and reread that scene. But let me explain before you guys think I'm a sociopath who likes it when other people are hurt and in pain. So basically, I kind of grew up like the therapist friend. I had two friends growing up, really, until I started playing softball. My two guy friends, and they would always vent to me. They would always rant to me about what was going on at school, and I never minded it. But, being the therapist friend can be kind of hard sometimes, because then I grew up, and, like, I didn't, I really didn't want to vent to them because they were going through so much, and I didn't want to come across as, like, a burden to them. And then I would try to rant to my parents, but they were going through, like, their own, like, financial struggles and stuff like that. So it's like I couldn't really vent to anyone. And now I have, like, my best friend from softball, and I can vent to her anytime. But again, I know that she goes through her own stuff. So I really don't want to, like, vent to her because, I know she goes through her own stuff because she tells me, and we tell each other these things, but just the fact that a guy was crying. My dad, when his grandpa died, I cried. I cried and cried and cried. I locked myself in my room for maybe an hour, and I just sobbed. And then my dad was, like, really different for a week, and no one blamed him. And I tried to be there to, like, comfort him, but he would not cry. He prayed over the body at the funeral, and I could hear his voice cracking, and he would not cry. So it was so refreshing to read about a guy crying, because I think the reason that guys don't cry is because they don't want to feel vulnerable, And so basically, what I'm saying is that there are really two main reasons why that is a comfort scene for me. One, it's because a guy let his guard down. He was vulnerable. He let himself be vulnerable. And then Juliet comes in and takes care of him. And honestly, that's just something, that's not really a luxury that I had growing up. It happened to me one time. I just broke down, and, like, my friends comforted me, and I'm not even really friends with them anymore. But, like, I'm a chick. I'm a teenage chick in 2024, and I don't feel safe crying in front of anyone because I'm so vulnerable when I'm crying, when I'm upset. And so just the fact that he was so upset that he let himself be that vulnerable. For Kenji said he was out in the cold for an hour. He told Juliet that he was out in the cold for an hour, which means Warner was sobbing on the floor and letting Juliet comfort him for an hour. So that's reason number one, is because he let himself be vulnerable. And I know, like, that's hard enough for me. That's so hard for me as a teenage girl. And I know that guys, when it comes to emotions, they have it a lot harder. So that's reason number one, because he let his guard down, he let himself be vulnerable. And reason number two is because I never really broke down in front of anyone. One time, and like I said, I did one time, but since then, I have to make it a point to hold in my tears. And if I'm at a party or something and I need to cry, I go to the bathroom, I go to the garage, the basement, wherever people are not going to be, and I just cry. And I let myself cry. But it's behind a locked door, and it's where no one can see me. When I'm crying, I want to be comforted. But I can never be comforted because I cannot let myself, I do not feel safe letting myself be that vulnerable in front of someone. And so I don't really cry in front of people anymore, especially like not my friends and especially not my parents, because my friends and my parents have to deal with their own crap and I don't want to make them have to deal with me. So that's reason number two, is because it's so comforting and like refreshing because it's like I can put myself, because it makes me feel like it's okay to cry and it's okay to let your friend comfort you. So that's reason number two. It's because it's so refreshing. It's just so refreshing to be able to see Juliet comforting Werner. And guys, the sun is going down, so if the lighting in my room change, oh wait, you know what? I got you guys. I got you. There you go. So that's definitely become one of my favorite comfort scenes. Also the scene where Juliet, okay, it made me a little, I wasn't really sure how I felt about it when she admitted to loving him. She was like, "You were right, like I do love you." Like she admitted it. I wasn't really sure how I felt about it when I was reading it, because like that was like the day that his mom died, you know? And you really shouldn't, I don't know. I feel like that's not really something that you should do, because I feel like you shouldn't do that to someone while they're so vulnerable, while they're so, like, they're gonna be so forgiving, because you absolutely crushed that guy. And then you come into his life later, at like a few hours after his mom dies, and say, "Oh, I actually do love you." And then like they make out and stuff, which is like great. It's great. I love that. And I totally ship it, and I love enemies to lovers. So I think that it is so cool and so fun. But also, like, maybe you shouldn't do that to someone, like, right after their mom dies. But then I read about how Warner felt about it, and how he just, like, Juliet, he like, slept in the bed with Juliet that night instead of sleeping in the couch in his office. He, like, slept in his bed with Juliet that night to be comforted by her. I'm assuming. I'm sorry. Anyway, he, like, slept in his bed with Juliet, and then he woke up the next morning and he was fine. And I'm assuming Juliet, like, comforted him through the night. I think it's just so sweet. I also loved this book so much because I need to stop, like, picking it up and showing it to you guys. Like, you guys keep forgetting what I'm talking about. Like, I'm talking about Ignite Me, guys, just in case you didn't read the title. I'm sorry, I'm being really annoying. Oh, sorry. I saw something outside my house and I got freaked out. But it's okay. It's okay. We're good. It's nothing I need to worry about. But then the other reason that I loved it is because I read about their relationship, Aaron and Juliet, and I thought it was so cute because, like, they kissed, and then he started sleeping in the bed with her instead of sleeping on the couch, because like they're together now and stuff, and they like love each other and they like comfort each other. Oh, hold on, my sister wants to talk to me. Sorry, my sister needed to talk to me. But anyway, so they did all that lovey-dovey stuff, right? But then it also says that Aaron taught her to fight, and he was one of the best teachers ever. Or he was the best teacher ever, is what it said. And I think it's so great that they can do both. So great that they can do both. That they can make time, like they can spend quality time with each other just like as a couple, but he can still teach her the things that she needs to know to like defeat the reestablishment and stuff. I will be right back, guys. I gotta go change and throw my hair up because I have softball practice in a few minutes. Hey guys, welcome to my bathroom. I'm not gonna do a bathroom tour today, especially because my bathroom's so small, but I'm gonna continue to rant to you guys while I fix my hair. Ew, gross. Anyway, I thought it was just so cute, that they could do both. I thought it was so cute how they managed it, because I feel like a lot of couples, like, in real life, they wouldn't be able to like, keep it together for that long, you know? Especially because they were busy doing the like, all that stuff with the reestablishment that was going on, and then they had to, like, rally all the soldiers, and I feel like that would have really put a toll on... Ew, what? No. Like, on their relationship. I feel like it really would have if it was, like, in real life, or if they, like, weren't... Ugh, my hair. Like, going strong. But they weren't, and they managed to stay together and continue to love each other. And in Restore Me... sorry guys, I'm gonna give like a minor spoiler for Restore Me, but it's nothing major. That's fine, I guess. Anyway, in Restore Me, they say that Juliet is always so busy plotting, like, okay, I'm gonna keep... Oh, wait, hold on. I'll put you guys in my closet. You're gay. I'm kidding. Well, I fix my clothes and stuff for practice. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, like, Juliet was planning everything. Warner was doing all the stuff that he normally had to do for Sector 45. Honestly, it was so terrifying to read. It was so, like, tense, and it was so terrifying. Now you can see my face. It was so terrifying to read about, like, in the beginning of Ignite Me, where they were having not issues, like, not... I don't really know how to put it because they weren't together at the beginning of Ignite Me, but when they couldn't, like, have a conversation, you know, for very long, they couldn't have a conversation for very long because, like, Julia kept rejecting him, like, over and over again, even though deep down she knew, like, she had feelings for him, I'm sure. Oh, and then that's, like, the other thing is, I think I mentioned this in the Unravel Me video, but I'm gonna say it to y'all again, because it's just so, so, so cute, and I love it so much. I thought I heard something. Maybe I'm being stalked, guys. Anyway, Kenji, I love Kenji so much, and I would honestly I love my best friend with all my heart, soul, and strength. She is one of the best people, if not the best person that has ever come into my life. I love her, but I feel like it would be so cool to have a guy friend like Kenji, because I know that Kenji realized that Juliet had, like, a thing for Warner, And he was like accepting about her. And I feel like that's how my best friend would be if I fell for a guy who who we had like past problems with. Like if it was me and my best friend in that scenario, that would probably be her reaction. Probably. I don't know. Oh, I had something on my lip. Ew, gross. Um, but I feel like it's really nice to have a guy friend. You know what, guys? I don't even think I'm gonna change for practice. Like these clothes are fine, and it's an indoor batting practice. But anyway, oh, I will change my pants though. But anyway, I feel like a lot of guys, especially, like, wouldn't be so chill about their like guy best friend, like their girl best friend. Sorry, not their guy best friend. Liking the enemy, you know, and I feel like most guys wouldn't be that accepting about that kind of stuff. So I feel like Kenji is one of the coolest guys out there, okay? I'm just gonna say it how it is. Um, the author did such a good job writing him. He is honestly one of my favorite characters. Maybe my favorite character. Um, it was so crazy to me reading everything that was going on between Juliet, Warner, and then Kenji was in the middle of it, helping them deal with all those problems. And I just thought it was the cutest thing ever. See, I love fairy lights, but they're kind of a problem sometimes. Um, he had like the coolest reaction ever, and also it would be so nice to have a guy friend who you can vent to, because I kind of grew up being the therapist friend. Like by the time I was like 6 years old, I was basically a therapist for my two guy friends. And I've never really minded. I never really realized that, but I also never really realized that it was okay for me to vent too. So it would just be nice to have someone who I could vent to, but they could also vent to me. Um, and you know, that's how Kenji is in the books. It's like Juliet is like his number one, maybe number two to like Castle. But Juliet says like, oh, like I'm always number two to Castle. But I just don't think that's true. I think it's all in her head, because us girls, we tend to overthink. People in general, people tend to overthink. But I know for a fact that girls tend to overthink a lot. So I think it's all in her head, but like just to have someone who you can vent to, who can vent to you, who like you guys can just hang out, do nothing, just sit there. And I feel like Kenji is the kind of guy who would be cool with you like leaning your head on his shoulder when you guys like weren't together. And being like, dude, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm so stressed out. And he'd, like, comfort you and stuff, even if he had no romantic feelings for you at all. Because most guys, what they would do is they would only let you do that if, like, they had romantic feelings for you and stuff. But I feel like Kenji is the kind of guy who would let you do that as long as you were, like, close friends with him, but you didn't necessarily have any romantic feelings for each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's such a great friend. And I've been ranting about Kenji for way too long now, and I'm so sorry for torturing you guys now. Why is there a truck parked outside my house? Oh, it's the neighbor's friend. Never mind, y'all. We're good. But yeah. I'm sorry, I've been ranting about Kenji for way too long. But back to, like, Juliet. So, like, some of the stuff that she said in the very beginning of the book just made me so unbelievably mad. Like, I didn't know I could be that mad, but it made me mad. Like, it it was like making me mad on the inside, but not necessarily on the outside. Because when I get mad, usually it's on the outside. It's on my face. You can see me turn red. It's almost like you can see steam coming out of my ears. My ears turn as red as a tomato, and my face goes completely pink. And you can tell that I'm mad. And I want to, when it's on the outside of my face, I want to throw something. I want to punch the wall. But when I was reading about Juliet, and usually when I get mad at a book, it's like the outside mad, right? And it's like I throw the book. And the only book I've ever thrown because it made me that mad was The Kill Order. But we're not going to get into that right now. But it made me mad what she was doing, but it made me mad like in the pit of my stomach because it was like almost inhumane. Some of the things that she was saying to Warner, like how she was like messing with his mind. And my mom always, like, I talk about relationships with my mom, and I've never really been in a relationship, but I know a lot about relationships with my mom, and I tell her, like, some of the advice that I give my friends, and she's like, you're so young, you've never even been in a relationship before, how do you know all this? And I'm like, I read a lot of romance books. I can see when the relationship is gonna start going downhill. I got you. So if y'all ever need a relationship advice, I'm your gal. But anyway, it made me so angry. But wait, where was I going with that? I can't even remember where I was going with that. Anyway, so she knew that she loved him. He knew that she loved him. I knew that she loved him. Kenji knew that she loved him. Everyone knew that she loved him. Juliet was questioning Adam or Warner. Like, Adam was toxic, babes. Sorry. I'm just gonna put it how it is. Because Adam was toxic. So some of the things that she said to Warner, or about Warner, some of the things she thought about him, the way that she played games with his mind. Like, I wanted to read another Shatter Me, but I wanted to read Ignite Me, but from Warner's point of view, so I could see his thought process when Juliet was playing games with him. I wanted that so bad, but there unfortunately is none. So that's fun. But anyway, it was just so inhumane, and it made me mad, but it made me mad in the pit of my stomach, not on my face, and it made me so mad, but it didn't make me mad enough to throw the book. I ranted about that for way too long, I'm so sorry, guys, but it made me so mad, but not mad, like, I want to throw the book mad, or I want to punch the wall mad, just like, how could you do this mad? Like, it was almost like I was being betrayed along with Warner, and it was so crazy to me. Like, how does the author mess with our mind like that? You dirty trickster! Where did that come from? I don't know. Don't ask me. But, basically, what I'm saying is that she knows how to mess with my mind in the best way possible, and it was so cool. I was so numb reading some of the parts in there. I was just so utterly numb. Because there's that part about the whippings on his back and how they were his birthday presents. Like, there were some really mature topics in there that, even though, like, I was basically a therapist by the time I was 6 years old, and I had to mature super fast, like, I think it was just a little mature even for me, and I consider myself to be a very, very, very mentally mature person. Physically, when I'm around people that I love and I trust with my craziness, I am a total goofball. But mentally, but that's still only physically. Like, I'll completely go crazy physically and just start laughing and being a complete weirdo. But mentally, I'm a very mature person, and that was some stuff that messed me up. And it's like my dad would beat me when I was a little kid and I would like disobey him or whatever. He would like beat my butt or something, but it wasn't like abusive. And it was just like with either his hand or a belt. It was never with a whip. And it was always on my butt. And if I put my hand on my butt to protect my butt, he hit my hand. But that's it. And even when he hit my hand, it was my fault, not his. So, like, reading about how Warner got beat by his dad for his birthday presents, and how his dad never let his mom get him any presents, like, that was so crazy to me, and it just made me feel numb. It literally, I have no other way to put it other than numb. But, like, numb is the only word I did change, and this is a super wrinkled shirt. And these pants are wrinkled too, but it's fine. It's literally just a DBAT practice. But, like, look at how wrinkled. Oh my god, no free topics for you. But anyway, so yeah, numb, I think, is the only word I could possibly use that is strong enough to describe how I felt when I was reading about that. I did see this YouTube video. On YouTube Shorts, I was scrolling and it was like, what's one sentence that broke you forever? And then I saw in the title, it was like hashtag Aaron Warner, hashtag shatter me, hashtag this. And I was like, that's so weird. And then it was like, the sentence that broke her was like, they were my birthday presents. And I was like, huh. And then I read that and I was like, oh my god, that's where it comes from. That's why it broke you. I was so numb. And I'm so glad I grew up with, like, a pretty, like, peaceful childhood. Like, I never got beat. I got spanked, but I didn't get beat. And certainly not to that extent. I just felt, I don't think I've ever felt more sorry for a character. Like, I've never wanted to reach into the pages and give the character a hug more than I did when I was reading about Warner and the birthday presents. Because that was just one of the most sad things I have ever read. I'm not gonna cry. I promised myself I wasn't gonna cry on camera. Anyway, I don't know how. I don't know why exactly. All I know is that this has become my new favorite comfort book. And if you guys are still here, thank you so much for watching. I don't think you'll actually realize how much I appreciate it. If you guys are still watching, drop an eyeball in the comments down below. Obviously, for Shatter Me. Tell me your favorite Shatter Me book, or your favorite book series. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, love you guys. Bye!